The sea was calm that night. Too calm. Somewhere beyond the darkness, thousands of young men waited in silence, gripping rifles, letters from home folded in their pockets. Engines hummed low. Orders had been given. There would be no turning back. What they were about to do would decide the fate of a war, and yet, almost everything about it was built on secrets. June 6, 1944, D-Day. It is remembered as a moment of triumph. But behind the iconic images and famous speeches lies a darker, quieter story, one of deception, fear, impossible decisions, and men sent into near-certain death to protect a secret so fragile that if it failed, the invasion would collapse before it even began. To understand D-Day, we must begin long before the beaches of Normandy. By 1944, Nazi Germany had occupied much of Europe for nearly 4 years. Cities were crushed, families separated, resistance movements hunted down. The Allies knew one thing with certainty: the war could not be won without a full-scale invasion of Western Europe. But the problem was simple and terrifying. Everyone knew an invasion was coming, including Hitler. The German High Command had spent years preparing for this moment. They fortified the Atlantic coast with concrete bunkers, landmines, artillery, and steel obstacles. This defensive line stretched from Norway to southern France. They called it the Atlantic Wall. On paper, it was unstoppable. The Allies faced an impossible question. Where do you land when the enemy is watching every mile of coastline? The obvious answer was pod that shortest distance between Britain and France. And that's exactly what the Germans expected, which is why the real plan was something else entirely. The greatest secret of D-Day was not the date. It was the lie. The Allies launched one of the most elaborate deception operations in military history. Fake radio traffic flooded the airwaves. Double agents fed Germany carefully crafted misinformation. Entire phantom armies were invented complete with inflatable tanks, wooden aircraft, and fake camps visible from the sky. At the center of this illusion was a fictional force commanded by a very real general, George Patton. Known for his aggression and brilliance, Patton was deliberately kept out of the actual invasion. The Germans watched him closely, convinced he would lead the main attack at Calais. Even on the morning of June 6th, many German commanders believed Normandy was a diversion. They were waiting for the real invasion that never came. But deception alone could not win the day. For the men chosen to go first, secrecy carried a heavy cost. Just after midnight, before the beach landings began, thousands of airborne troops were dropped behind enemy lines. Paratroopers from the United States and Britain were scattered across the French countryside in darkness, wind, and chaos. Many landed miles from their targets. Some drowned in flooded fields. Others were captured or killed before firing a single shot. Their mission was brutally simple: disrupt German defenses, destroy bridges, cut communication lines, and create confusion. They knew reinforcements might never reach them. They also knew their sacrifice could save thousands of lives on the beaches. One American paratrooper later recalled the silence after landing broken only by distant gunfire and the sound of his own breathing. He had no idea where he was, only that he was deep in enemy territory, and dawn was coming. As the sun rose, the largest amphibious invasion in history began. Over 150,000 Allied troops stormed 5 beaches: Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. Each one told a different story, but none more brutal than Omaha. At Omaha Beach, the plan unraveled almost immediately. Strong currents pushed landing craft off course. Bombing runs missed their targets. German defenses remained largely intact. When the ramps dropped, soldiers were met with a wall of machine gun fire. Men were cut down in seconds. Bodies piled up in the surf. Medics were killed trying to reach the wounded. Entire units were wiped out before reaching the sand. And yet, amid the chaos, something unexpected happened. Small groups of soldiers, often led by junior officers, or no officers at all made impossible decisions. They crawled forward under fire. They climbed cliffs they were never supposed to climb. They destroyed bunkers with grenades and sheer determination. There was no grand strategy in those moments, only survival and courage. Hidden within the carnage were choices that history would never fully record. A soldier who chose to move forward instead of retreat. An engineer who cleared a path through mines under fire. A radio operator who stayed at his post long after everyone around him was dead. These were not planned heroics. They were acts of desperation that changed the course of the day. Behind the scenes, leaders faced their own terrifying uncertainties. Allied commanders had no clear picture of what was happening on the ground. Communications were unreliable. Casualty reports were incomplete or wrong. For hours, it was unclear whether the invasion was succeeding or collapsing. At one point, senior officers considered pulling back from Omaha entirely. Had that decision been made, the invasion might have failed. But slowly, painfully, the Allies gained a foothold. By nightfall, Normandy was not secure. Far from it. But it was no longer unreachable. The cost was staggering. Thousands were dead or wounded in a single day. Many of their bodies would never be identified. Their families would receive letters weeks later, written in careful language that could never capture the truth. And yet, the greatest secret of D-Day remained intact. Hitler still believed the main invasion was coming at Calais. German armored divisions, desperately needed in Normandy, were held back, waiting for an attack that existed only in Allied imagination. That delay gave the Allies precious time. The liberation of Western Europe had begun. The road would be long and brutal, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. D-Day is often remembered as a single day of victory, but in reality, it was a fragile gamble balanced on secrecy, sacrifice, and human endurance. It succeeded not because everything went right, but because, when everything went wrong, ordinary people refused to give up. Today, the beaches of Normandy are quiet. The bunkers still stand, weathered and empty. The sea rolls in, just as it did that morning in 1944. But beneath the calm lies a truth worth remembering. History is not shaped only by grand plans and famous leaders. It is shaped by hidden decisions, untold sacrifices, and moments when the outcome is uncertain, and failure feels inevitable. D-Day was not just the most dangerous mission of World War II. It was a reminder that the future can hinge on secrets kept, risks taken, and the courage to move forward into the unknown when the world is watching and everything is on the line.